I love a list, but some lists are more powerful than others. While a task list can help keep us focused and get things done, and a packing list can help us make sure we don't forget sunscreen on our summer holiday, the lists we're looking at in this video have been specifically selected to make your year ahead awesome. Grab something to write with and let's get listing. Our first idea is very much about bringing more novelty to life. And while there are a lot of ways you can do this, like buying a new mug or going somewhere new, the specific list idea here is what I call an experience wish list. While a regular wish list can also be very helpful, especially around birthdays and gift-giving holidays, when somebody asks you what you want and your brain just completely shuts down, this list is more about the events or happenings you want rather than the stuff or things. Instead of stuff to purchase or acquire, it's more so things to do or experiences to have. I like to separate mine into categories, and the specific categories you use are up to you, but the real reason for the separation is to make using the list easier for future me. One type of division you could use is time-based, so is that event or experience going to take an hour, maybe an afternoon, maybe a full day, or possibly multiple days? For instance, the difference between going to a new coffee shop or eatery that you want to try versus going away for a week-long holiday. Another way that you can separate your entries in this list or organize your thinking is doing a finance-based separation. So free events and happenings versus ones that cost a little bit of money versus the ones that are going to cost a lot. Especially if you also have a goal of saving money in the next year, having a category of just free things that you want to experience could be really useful. Another way to separate your list could be place-based happenings, so things that you want to do either in or around the home versus things in your town or area versus things that are a little further afield. And another way to organize the list that I personally find really useful is company-based. So is this a solo-based experience I want to have? Do I want to do it with my partner or maybe my best friend, or possibly a group of people like family or friends? When it comes to what type of entries you would add to a list like this, it very much depends on the kind of experiences you want to have. Things that I have on my experience wish list is stuff like painting pottery with my friends, or having a themed cocktail night. Maybe for you it's going to the farmer's market, or checking out an exhibit at the art gallery or museum. The guiding question that I use for myself when it comes to populating this list is, what is something that I haven't done before but I'd like to do? Or what is something that I have done before but I'd like to do more of it in the year ahead? While novelty is one of the ways that we can make next year awesome, another thing is just leaning into joy. This idea is a little list of happiness. And there are two ways that we can tackle this one, with it really coming down to actionability. Either you can populate this list with actionable happiness boosters, or things that you can do to make yourself more happy, or readable happiness boosters. So by reading over the entries in the list, we get a little boost in happiness. Technically, you can make both of those, but I would be inclined to keep them on separate lists, just so that then you have one that's just to read over when you want a little mood booster, whereas another one is for stuff you can do to give yourself a mood booster. When it comes to an actionable happiness list, this is one that I would probably also break down into further categories, in particular thinking about like a financial basis, so free things that I can do that'll make me happy versus little things that I could buy myself to make me happy. And you could also divide it based on place as well. So things around the home that would be a mood booster, things that I can do while I'm out and about to boost my mood, maybe things at work to boost my mood if that's necessary. But as you populate a list like this, make sure it's stuff that genuinely makes you happy. We don't want to just add fillers or generic stuff to this list, otherwise it won't be as impactful as it could be. One of the things that I do regularly that definitely makes life better, or at least makes it feel less stressful, is what I call a mind unwind, or you might have heard referred to as a brain dump. This is where you just get all of your thoughts out of your head, either onto paper or into a digital system, so that you can see them all, make sense of everything, and move forward. The problem is though, getting everything out of your head can be a little bit challenging, especially if your brain likes to play the word association game and take you from thought to thought to thought to thought, which is a process that can get you completely sidetracked. But a list that we can make to help with this is called a spark list. Not only does a spark list help us do a more thorough job of our brain dumping, but it can also keep us focused on the task at hand. You might have heard this one referred to as a trigger list, but the idea is that the entries on this list are there to prompt your thinking as you do your brain dump. Essentially, you read the prompt, it triggers a thought for you, you can then solidify that idea and add it to your brain dumped list. When it comes to organizing your own spark list or trigger list, I like to organize this into different life areas or life categories. The specific categories you use are of course up to you, but some examples include things like physical health, mental health, home environment, digital environment, finances, fun and leisure, work, social, partner, spirituality, and anything else you can think of. This is also a list type that we have a full separate video on because I just think it is that helpful. But the next idea we have is for any point next year that isn't super awesome. Yes, the ideas in this video have been selected because they're going to make next year better for you, but that doesn't mean that challenges, hardships, and difficulties won't happen. In these cases, our little list of happiness might not be able to cut it, or it might not be appropriate. Maybe the challenge we're facing isn't in need of mood boosting. Maybe it's because we're feeling overwhelmed or just a little bit off. This isn't going to be a list of how to avoid these situations, or just ignore them, but more so when we're feeling ready to, how are we going to bounce back? This list is all about predicting the types of challenges or difficulties we might face, and then giving ourselves some actions to take to get us back on track. For instance, if you're going to be working on a goal surrounding more nutritious eating, but you do foresee that there are likely going to be some times in the next year that are going to get kind of busy, kind of stressful, and you might fall off with it. Setting up a list with the actions that you can take to get yourself back on track and taking the actions you want to be taking in that area could be really helpful for getting back on track more quickly, or not letting yourself dwell in that space of negativity and letting those challenges derail your goals. While you can make one big bounce back checklist, I would be more inclined to make some smaller ones for different situations, just so then the things that you put on there can be a little bit more targeted towards the situation. So for instance, a bounce back list for when you're feeling overwhelmed versus a bounce back list for when you fall off with a very particular goal, or a bounce back list for when you're just feeling a little bit off, and the things that you can do to check in with yourself to maybe diagnose that problem. The next list that I would recommend though is very much intended to help you get cool, calm, and collected for any new period. The list itself is a reset checklist, and I like to pack this one with anything and everything that I can do to give me that fresh slate feeling at any time of year. Although the start of a new year is great for that new year, new me energy, I want to be able to give myself that feeling more than just once a year. And that is essentially what my reset checklist is for. I like to set my reset checklist up so that it is for quarterly resets. So every 3 months, what are the tasks that I'm going to do to get myself ahead for the next 3 months? Get myself prepared in terms of my goals, reset my spaces, make sure that I can hit the ground running come the start of the new quarter. And because I like to do a very in-depth job, I set my reset checklist up to be used across the entire of a week. So one reset week at the end of each quarter in preparation for the next one. Of course, you don't just have to have a reset at the end of the quarter though. You can give yourself a fresh slate at any point, either by setting up a weekly reset or a monthly reset. Those are ones that I have used previously as well. But when it comes to organizing your reset checklist, this is another one that I like to organize into life areas or life categories. So what are the reset tasks that I can do in terms of my planning and my calendar? What are the tasks I can do in terms of my home environment or my digital environment? The specific categories very much depend on what you want that fresh slate feeling in. But as I go through and make this checklist, I try and populate it with anything and everything that I can think of that could give me that fresh slate feeling. Mainly because I want to make this list once and then use it multiple times with each new reset. When it comes to using it, I just make a copy of that master list and remove anything that isn't necessary for that particular time. Maybe one time I do the reset, I really want to focus on self-care and rest activities. Whereas the next reset, I might want to double down on that home reset and getting my space very much in order. Even if you aren't going with a full week of resetting tasks, even if it's only an afternoon in preparation for the next week ahead, giving yourself a list of those actions you can take to give you a fresh start can be very satisfying and make for an awesome year. I would love to know though, what list idea would you add to this lineup? And of the ones we've discussed, are there any you're going to be making for yourself? Let me know in the comments. But in terms of where to set these lists up though, I like to put mine in my second brain in Notion. This is where I store essentially all of my long-term life information, whether that be reference materials, notes for future me, and anything else. And we also have a full walkthrough video of what my second brain looks like. If you wanted to store your lists digitally, or just wanted some information organization inspiration, then this video is the next one to check out. Click or tap on that one, and I'll see you over there.